Well, we have for our viewers and listeners a special show today. And this show is simply getting some of our newsmakers, the folks that are in the middle of the fight for the free world, trying to affirm the principles of Western civilization, the Judeo-Christian worldview, standing firm in the intellectual and activistic battles. We're going to continue with looking into their view and their life for a little bit. And with us right now is Daniel Mail. And he is delivering the mail. I mean, he must get a million jokes like that. You know,
come on, Tom. You do better.
Are you going to start singing Blues Clues?
All right, yeah, Blues Clues. Yeah, no Blues Clues, though I've seen enough of it in my life. Daniel, you're, 22, 23 years old. You're a student at Brandeis University in the Boston area. And you're in the middle of controversies with the police shooting in New York, calling out some bad people who have made bad comments on that. But beyond that, what are your resolutions? A couple of your aspirations for 2015. What do you want to accomplish as a human being?
Well, I have 4 months left on campus, and I think something that's unfortunately neglected is the rights of minorities in the Middle East, Christians, LGBTQ individuals, women's rights. I think that as a whole, this is both a liberal conservative issue. I think that there's a lot of room to grow and to achieve a lot of, create more awareness about the plight of so many individuals suffering at the hands of ISIS, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, countless other countries, and I think we have a moral obligation to do so.
Okay, look, we appreciate that. We certainly appreciate that here at the United West because we're all about that. But forget about that stuff. Don't you want to lose like 10 pounds or stop eating celery? Or what do you want to do as a person, as a 22-year-old kid?
Chase girls? Come on, chase girls. Come on.
What do you want to do?
I would like to be able to see a few more movies. I think oftentimes it's tough to balance everything. So how's that? I'd like to go to movies a bit more.
See a few more movies.
Perhaps I can call my mother.
Okay, then call your mother and go to some more movies. Okay. You want to come with us and jump out of airplanes in 2015? Yeah, how about that?
After everything that's going on now, I think I probably should just do that.
Okay.
We'll make it a day. You come.
It's a lot better than a movie.
Jump out of airplanes. All right, now with a bottle of wine. Okay, kosher wine. There's some great kosher wine in the Golan that we just came back from there. Got some.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Manischewitz?
Schmucky. How are you, Schmuck?
I'm fantastic. I'm very impressed with the young man on your show here.
Yeah, why don't you tell him quickly about your background?
Well, my name is Schmucky Potsnik. I'm 88 years old, and in the 2014 elections, I voted Republican for the first time in my life. I couldn't take what these Democrats were doing anymore.
Ah, there he is, Schmucky. Now, we're going to get into what his predictions are, Schmucky's, but we got a couple of minutes left with you, Daniel. What are your predictions? What do you see happening around the world in 2015?
My eyes are focused on the Israeli election now coming up. I'm very interested to see how things play out. My guess is that Netanyahu will win, and I'm curious how that affects certainly Obama's last 2 years, especially now with the Republican Congress. And again, I'm eager to see how that goes, and I'm also interested to see the military strategy with regards to the Islamic State, and to see the charades that occur between the United States, P5 plus 1 countries, in Iran. My prediction is that it won't go well, but I have to pray and hope that we do better than we did last time, or at least on November 24th.
So do you see Israel tech in Iran? Or not?
I don't think so. I don't think that they have the room, especially at least before any election. So that knocks off a couple of months. And then if it really gets to the point of despair, it would be very interesting to see the political maneuvering. But I think ultimately, with the Republican Congress, there could be enough noise to force the United States into action. And I really hope that happens, because we're really just kicking the can down the road, and we know what happens when we give Iran more time. We know we can really make some sort of prediction here, and it won't be good. So we have to take that very seriously, and I really hope that everything comes together more smoothly than it did certainly this past year.
All right, Daniel Mail, thank you for your resolutions. In fact, you're going to jump out of airplanes with us, and for the serious stuff regarding the elections in Israel and the Iranian situation. You take care. Have a wonderful new year. We'll see you next year. We'll spend some more time together. We'll have you on maybe once a week, and you can give us a little update on the craziness you're involved with. And the movies. You could be our movie
expert guy. There you go.
The movies. I have a review of Exodus ready to go. So.
Okay, excellent. Right. Go see the interview. Don't forget to see that. All right, take care. See you next year.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, man, this is really very cool stuff. What we're doing, folks, on this January 1 and January 2, 2000. Can you guys believe it's 2015?
No.
No. That was the fastest year ever.
2004. We came out of 2013, and for everyone listening and watching, Tom Trento, your host of Enemies of the State. The name of the organization is the United West. The location on AM radio is WSBR. WSBR 740 AM on your dial. And we spoke on one of the shows this week that at the end of 2013, we had to shut down operations on the radio side. And then by the grace of God, at the end of 2014, we're back on the radio, full steam on the internet. And we're starting off 2015 with this wonderful two-part series interviewing these newsmakers. This has really been good. Let's go to the next person right now. All right, I'm looking at Facebook page here, Israel One Nation. And those of us here in the studio know all about Israel One Nation. And in fact, our next newsmaker, she's making news, activist, she's an activist, and dedicated supporter of Israel. She's with us. I want everybody to welcome, well, should we call her by our name? I think.
Yes, absolutely. Of course.
Please welcome Jerusalem Jane.
Yeah. Shalom. Hi.
Shalom, Jerusalem Jane. How are you?
Hi, guys.
It's 2015. Are you ready for a new year?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I am. Yeah, and I'm in Jerusalem. What better place to be, right?
That's amazing. That really is. I have not had the privilege of being in Jerusalem on New Year's. That's got to be an amazing, I'll put it in my bucket list. But I got a couple of questions for you, Jerusalem Jane. You're in the center of the geopolitical universe. I mean, everything points back to Israel, and more specifically to that 49 square mile piece of dirt, Jerusalem. What do you see from where you stand? And for the folks that may not know Jerusalem Jane, she is a Christian from Denmark living in Jerusalem, there to support the Jewish people in the state of Israel. And one of the many ways in which she does this is to go up on the Temple Mount and simply to pray for the state of Israel, for Jewish people. And it looks like the bad guys don't like that. They've been after her lately, and there's been threats and all of that. Jerusalem Jane, what do you see geopolitically occurring in 2015?
Oh, gosh. I really wish I could say something positive, but I think things are just going to get worse. I mean, I'm a Christian, and I read the Bible. And I actually spoke to a friend of mine today, and I asked him the same question. And he's this grown big man. And he said, you know what, Jane, I'm afraid. We have an election coming up, and you need to tell your people to pray. We need a right-wing government here in Israel, because if the leftists are going to come to power here, there's going to be no more Israel. Because if they come to power, then they're going to give away land, and then there will be so little left of Israel, we can't defend ourselves. So we are heading towards hard times here in Israel. I think we're heading towards troubled times, and I think war is going to come. I'm sorry to say, but I think it's going to come.
Has anyone said things are going to get better in 2015? This is about our 11th interview.
I know.
And I don't think we've had one person say things are going to get better.
The sun is not coming out tomorrow type of thing.
Where's all the flower
guys, I'm so sorry. I wish I could say something good, but I mean, what?
No, we want the truth here, and you're in the middle of all this. Yeah. Israel is looking at a March 17 election. And
yes.
For those of you who follow our work, and you should be following Jerusalem Jane's work, Israel One Nation.
Oh, you better.
Yes, so your suitor,
yes,
Jane,
right.
is here in the studio, Schmucky. Say hello to Jane.
Hello, Jane. I want to thank you for what you're doing over there. It's
Thank you,
wonderful.
handsome.
Thank you, handsome. Oh,
Boy.
Uh-oh.
You
Easy.
still owe me a picture. I haven't seen a picture yet.
well, you might want to reevaluate that
Yeah,
handsome
he's
thing.
88 years old. But he's not,
I'm a young 88. I'm a vibrant 88.
he's a vibrant
yeah,
88.
I think so.
All right, so you're concerned about the March 17 elections. Well, for those of you who follow what we're doing, and if you're just listening on WSBR Radio, 740 AM on the dial, 4 o'clock every day here in South Florida, East Coast time. And we have a special two-part show, January 1st, January 2nd. As you've seen, our friends, newsmakers, activists, warriors, one of whom is Jerusalem Jane. She's concerned about the March 17 elections in Israel. And several of our speakers have mentioned that the left and the right are fighting, and Jane and others have said the right has to win, otherwise land is going to be given away, and that could destabilize the Middle East even more. But Jane, let's get a little personal. 2015, we're just 1 or 2 days into it. What do you have as a woman from a foreign country, Denmark, living in Israel, in Jerusalem? What is one of your personal resolutions for 2015?
I want a journalist visa.
Oh.
Yeah, I would really, really like to have a journalist visa, a journalist pass, so I can go get to all the press meetings and, get my boots on the ground even more where things are happening. I have actually been permitted to go find a job here. I'm on a tourist visa now, but they have recognized the work that I'm doing here, and they see that I'm a voice for Israel. So they have actually allowed me to go find a job. So if anybody out there is looking for some kind of a journalist and they could help me with a visa, I'm your girl. So I
Trento,
would really, really love
Trento,
that.
come on.
Trento, you know all kinds of bigwigs over there. Help this lady out.
We may be
Yeah.
able to help you with that, with your resolution for 2015. We are a commercial, real live radio show in South Florida, WSBR. And, we covered with our station. We covered, we
Yeah.
have press passes. So
No, we
covered.
have all the way. I mean,
kinds
certified
of stuff we covered, yeah.
presidential press passes,
So,
the whole 9 yards.
Could we sign Jane up as our Israeli
Foreign correspondent,
foreign
yes.
Oh,
correspondent?
I'd love to.
Why don't you we'll do this right on our show right now, Jerusalem Jane. Why don't you get all the information necessary, get it to us, and let us see if we can work our magic and make it
Oh,
happen.
that would be lovely.
And we'll
Okay.
even give you an official press badge from our
Photoshop department.
So you too can get kicked out of the places like me.
Yes, yes.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Jerusalem Jane, thank you very much for joining us on our special New Year's show. We will
My
see you
pleasure.
in just 2 or 3 months. We'll be there March 21st. And again, folks, we've got a couple of seats left. We're only taking about 30 or 40 people, one bus, leaving March 21st, coming back March 31st, 10 days. You will meet Jerusalem Jane in Jerusalem. Sign up,
Yes.
contact me, Tom,
Yep.
at the United West.
I can't wait.
Bye, Jane.
Bye, guys.
Happy
Shalom.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye. All right, New Year's resolutions. Everybody has those. I got to go to the gym. I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this. I want to be a better dad. Well,
So what's yours, Tom?
my New Year's resolution, I haven't made one yet. I'm too busy asking all these questions. To maximize, but I ask the people the personal stuff.
Yes.
To maximize the opportunity we have with our new studio,
Right.
which really, we've been given metaphorically speaking, a nuclear weapon.
Yes.
Of mass communication instead of mass production
Right.
instead of mass destruction, to maximize that, to get the volunteers we need. If you want to volunteer and help us, give us a call. Get the volunteers we need, get the equipment we need. If you want to pay for some of the equipment we need, give us a call. And to integrate it with the other conservative organizations and media outlets like Breitbart, to maximize the phenomenal opportunity God has given us in 2015. Let's go to the next person. And next we have Tim Brown. He's the editor over at freedomoutpost.com. Christian man, author, true lover of liberty. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tom.
How are you doing right now on this first day of the new year?
I'm doing good. It's a little cool and rainy outside, though.
Yeah, well, you know what? We hope that isn't what the rest of 2015 is going to look like. We hope it's sunny and bright, but, you know, we're realists, we conservatives. Tim, you do some amazing work with your blog and your writing. What is one of your personal resolutions for 2015?
I've got several, but mainly I hope to utilize Freedom Outpost and the other outlets that I contribute to help people understand, bring them back to what our Constitution is, and also to inform those who've wandered away from God about God's law and call them to that. I think if we get to what our founders laid out as far as our religion and morality being the principal foundations of what our nation is, we'll see the fruit of that. We'll see a benefit from that. But as long as people are willing to reject what God has laid out, and that is not only individually, but even government understanding their limited capacity and actually doing what they're supposed to do and not the things they're not supposed to do, I think we would fare well for that. So that's where I try to go with things. I want people to be responsible for themselves. And in turn, if they're responsible with that, they have the resources whereby they can do the things the government's been doing.
Yeah.
A couple of those things, if I can point out, would be education, educating their own kids rather than sending them to the state indoctrination centers we call public schools. And also, if they are working for themselves, if they're providing for their own family, then I believe God gives them the ability where they can provide for those the needs voluntarily, not at the point of a gun, to help those who are in need in their community as well.
Wow. Hey, admirable stuff, and you've been doing this for a while, and you're an individual that walks the talk. So we want to know, from your perspective, writing on all the constitutional, conservative issues in America, what do you see in America geopolitically? What's one of your predictions for 2015?
Well, I think one of the things that's going to happen is that we're going to see the GOP in America try to push on us fake conservatives. They've been doing it for years, and that's why the conservatives really can't get behind them. How that's going to lead to up into the 2016 election, I don't know, but I think we're going to get a good view of that in this coming year. And already we're seeing Mitt Romney and Jeb Bush, of all people, being touted again to run for the presidency. However, looking beyond our borders, I do see that we may be pushed towards something like a further conflict in the Middle East. I also see that they're having issues in Russia and China. Of course, China's doing the same thing we've been doing. They've been printing money and trying to keep up with the things that the U.S. has been doing. So we may see them start to tank as well, even though they've been involved with Russia in this BRICS bank. So I'm not an economist, but I tend to think all of that kind of works together. And the reason that we're involved in a lot of things that we probably shouldn't be is because of what my resolution is. We haven't been paying attention to what our own laws are supposed to be, so they put us in trouble.
Yeah, it goes right back to that. Well, Tim Brown, you keep up your great work, and we will stand with you in 2015, especially as Jeb Bush is running for president here in Florida. Oh, God
Say
help
it
us.
ain't so, Joe. Say
Help
it
us,
ain't
God
so.
help us. Look, we love Jeb as a governor. Jeb, please, Mama Bush,
Just
Papa
say no.
Bush,
Just say
tell
no.
your son to stay retired, please. All right, Tim, we got to let you go. You take care. Have a wonderful 2015.
Thank you, Tom. You do the same.
All right, bye-bye.
God bless you.
I got to tell you, I am loving this. This has been really an amazing experience over the past, how many days we've been doing this?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
Woo! Bunch of people. We had Claire Lopez. Hey, For those of you maybe just tuning in as you're driving in South Florida, or you're moving around the internet on Breitbart TV or the UnitedWest.org or TeaPartyCommunity.com. My name is Tom Trento. The name of our show is Enemies of the State. Our organization is The United West. You can go to our website, theunitedwest.org. We are an educational counterterrorism organization. That means there's terrorism in the world, if you haven't noticed. And we counter that terrorism, not with bombs and bullets. That's left to the professionals that do that type of work. We are the professionals that counter the terrorism ideology here in the United States and throughout the West, in particular in Israel, with the truth of the Judeo-Christian worldview, the truth of the Constitution, the founding documents, and the truth of everything opposite President Obama. Did you get that? Everything opposite President Obama. Our mission statement says to defend the Constitution, defend the state of Israel, defeat President Obama's policies, defeat Islamic Jihad. That's what we're all about. This particular day, actually 2 days, January 1, January 2, 2015, we decided to kick back a little bit from our typical, very controversial, very confrontational issues on national security, and bring in some of our friends, some of the newsmakers that you've seen on various news outlets, bring in some of the warriors that you may not see every day in the news, but are behind the lines running conservative organizations, bring in some of our friends, and just ask them a couple of questions. The questions we've been asking are very simple. Looking at 2015, what are your predictions for some geopolitical events that could possibly could occur? We're asking these folks to put on their prognosticating. That's a hard word to say. Can you guys say prognosticating?
No, prognosticating?
I can't say it. I can't say it.
Prognosticating.
Prognosticating. I can say it. I said it. Prognosticating.
Even I can say it.
Oh, we have an imam that could even say it. Hey, Imam Abdullah, let me ask you.
Yes, Tom.
We've been talking to all these people about their predictions for 2015. What is? You have any predictions for 2015?
I don't know how happy your audience will like to hear my predictions, but I would be happy to offer them.
I got a tough audience, man. We got viewers, we got listeners. These are tough people that know what's going on. Good. Share some of. By the way, for our listening audience, Imam Abdullah is here by invitation. He's a Pakistani Taliban imam. And we don't always see eye to eye, though he's a cute little fellow that we like to have around the studio.
You toy with him, yeah.
He tells the truth. He doesn't like our studio bow wow, but that's a whole other deal.
I know.
Filthy animal.
Which would be a dog, yeah.
Take a moment. What do you think is going to happen in the world from an Islamic point of view?
Oh, what I would see happening, and of course what I hope to see happening, is the success of the Islamic State, which things appear to be going very well. A little bit of the slowdown with your silly little bombs hitting the people, but of course that will never, ever defeat the ideology of the Islamic State, particularly when you refuse to squash them. So, of course, the Islamic State will have victory. Israel will continue, or should I say the Zionist state will continue its march towards destruction.
Okay.
And you will see here in the United States, you will see a very big uprising of the Ummah right here in your own backyard. Those are my three predictions,
those are your
you infidel.
You sound like somebody in the Obama administration basically laying out the game plan for 2015. Okay, you heard it first from Imam Abdullah here. But we have a good friend of ours up next.
Well, you're not going to ask me about my predictions?
You have predictions?
I have predictions.
Okay. J. Mark Campbell, our director. You got 11 seconds.
Yeah.
Unless you can do, I don't know.
I can do it.
Can you do it like
if you would quit talking, I could do it.
A British parliamentarian?
Everything's going to get really, really get bad, just like everybody's been saying. But at the end, it's going to get better. Because everybody's going to start waking up, just like we've been saying everything's been getting bad, but everything has been getting better. And so I don't want to be Debbie Downer here. I'm just saying it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's kind of like burning a forest. The forest hasn't burnt yet. But then regrowth happens, and that's what I'm waiting for is that regrowth.
Tom, where do you find these ignorant
I'm
infidels?
I'm looking up. It's in the Unitarian lexicon.
It is. See?
For predictions in coming years. It's right there.
Right.
You heard it first from a Unitarian lexicon.
Hey, that's your Bible talking that.
Yes.
You know, that's that nonsense,
It
right?
is your ridiculous interpretation.
My Bible says, hang on, everybody. It's going to be a rough ride. That's what my Bible says.
But it's
But
gonna get
what
better. It's
does
gonna get better.
what does our next guest say? We have with us right now, you guys really haven't met Robin. Robin Nolan is the founder and president of McDavid PR firm, and has really an illustrious background, 25 years or so, of working with the big Fortune 500 companies and branding them, getting their message, their products out. We met a while back through a mutual friend. Robin is a hardcore conservative and likes our work, and a mutual friend said, you guys got to get together. So we got together, start talking, and she is a whirlwind of activity and ideas, and every day I get something in my inbox. Tom, try this, do that, meet this person, meet that person. In fact, one of the guys that we had who was wonderful, Tim Brown, she put us together with Tim Brown, freedomoutpost.com. So let's give a United West warm welcome. First time on the show, Robin Nolan. How are you?
You're going to go,
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, do your Islamic. We got them all in here, Robin. How you doing today? How are you
I'm happy
today?
to be here, guys.
Good,
yeah,
good.
she's having second thoughts now.
Yeah, like what did I get into? Hey, look, you're in PR and marketing. You got to be used to creative people like us, huh?
Yeah, I'm also used to cleaning up the mess you leave behind sometimes.
You're hired. You're hired. Usually we got lawyers that do that, but you're hired.
I'd much rather have pretty women than lawyers,
I
that's
know.
for sure.
Tell us a little bit about your work, because you are doing great work, and we want to help you out with that if we can, beginning 2015. Then we're going to ask you our 2 key questions.
Yes.
Okay. Well, my most experience has just been helping disabled people across the country who've been wrongfully denied their benefits. I work with different lawyers and make sure that the disabled people who've been denied their benefits actually get what they deserve from the insurance companies. And I have a couple of really great clients that do that every day. A client in California, Northridge, Cantor Law, and I have another firm that I'm working with out of Houston.
Is that who's calling you right now?
I think that was probably the dogs and the cats.
Live television, ladies and gentlemen, WSBR Radio 740 on your dial-on. This, I think it's January 2nd. I'm losing track of the days here. 2015.
January 2nd, yes,
January
Tom.
2nd, okay. And I have no idea what time of day it is. It's somewhere between 4 and 5 o'clock, because possibly we taped some of this earlier than January 2nd. It's a possibility. But Robin, you're a dyed-in-the-wool, red, white, and blue conservative. What do you see on the landscape geopolitically for the United States of America in 2015?
I think that one of the things we have to really look at carefully is the price of oil going down. I think there's going to be a lot more unrest in the Middle East. I think that those people are going to have to learn how to do something productive besides just live off the wealth of the oil. I also think that having the natural gas in America is going to help us maybe bring back some manufacturing, maybe create more jobs.
Good point.
Not going to compete that much with China and such, because because oil prices for the Chinese and the Japanese is the same as it is for us. But we will have some advantage, I think, with natural gas.
Oh, I think you're the second or third interview in the 2 days that have referenced the gas situation.
Well, I tell you what, she's preaching. That's what I've been preaching for the last 5 years is our natural gas resources. We have a plethora of natural. We actually cap it because we have so much natural gas.
And if you've traveled, ladies and gentlemen, with Mark, there's a lot of
natural
gas in the atmosphere. So on the second day of January, as we laugh our way into 2015, we always do such serious stuff We got to lighten it up a little bit.
There is no fun in Islam. I don't even know what this show is about anymore.
But to help our viewers who don't see the connection between low gas prices and instability in the economy, you know, we have an economist here. Robin, can you help us bridge that gap? When you would think gas prices come down lower, it's good for everybody, but are you saying it isn't?
Not necessarily so, no. No, it's the gas prices going down, Robin, have a negative effect on some countries in the world. Can you explain that?
I think the negative effect is that they've had plenty of oil, they've had plenty of money, and they haven't really been contributing that much to society. And so now they're going to be fighting in the streets. They're going to have to learn how to do something and to contribute and to be a productive society if that isn't their main source of income anymore.
Are you?
There is always kidnappings.
Are you saying
True,
that?
and you could burn the oil fields, and then we would have more problems again, you know, and the price will go up. So I guess you could always do that, and maybe also crush ISIS a little bit because you burn the oil fields and they have less revenue.
Well, and here's some of the things that a lot of people don't know, and Robin has written about this and talked about this, is when gas prices go down, these welfare states, which are completely dependent upon oil and the price of oil being high, they have less money to distribute out to the mullahs and whatever.
Like Saudi Arabia.
Like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Now, Iran economy is extremely fragile on oil prices. It is almost 100% dependent on those oil prices being high, so to keep these, you know, these imams and these rulers and these dictatorial regimes under a theocratic government in place. Once those prices go down, unrest starts happening. Even though it's good for us on the cheap oil side, it actually creates a huge amount of unrest in the Middle East. And I think that is one of the reasons why Saudi Arabia is flooding the market with cheap oil right now, because they're mad at Iran with a nuclear bomb, and they're trying to destroy that economy.
And then all hell breaks loose when
Right.
when a large population like China, say, or Iran, 80 million people, when the men are out of work from 15 to 40 years old. So you have a war to send all the men off to war, you know? And yes, sir. Who are you? Oh, I thought you had something to say.
No,
I didn't know who you. I didn't know who was
No,
gonna.
no, he just no. I thought it was Schmucky sitting there, but I
Okay.
didn't know.
Hey, Robin, we have a second question for you, and we have Robin Nolan from McDaniel PR.
McDavid.
Firm. McDavid. Why was I say
Doesn't matter.
Because of our friend McDaniel. McDavid PR firm. How could they get in touch with you directly, Robin, if somebody wants to follow up with you?
I think just go to my Twitter account at McDavid PR. My phone number's there. Everything's there at McDavidPR. My Twitter account's the best way to reach me.
The Twitter account at MC David, McDavid PR, and you can reach Robin there. Second question,
Hold
Robin.
on, I had a quick question.
Okay.
Give me an estimate on how much to repair the public relations of the United West.
Oh my God. Well, I'm going to be down there in a couple weeks, and we'll do a full review.
We'll sit down. Get out your green eye shade, you know. And thank God we don't care about public relations. We're here to tell the truth and fight the battle. So,
Right.
And if you want to do that, they're with us. But we could use your help on some of this.
Right.
And the second question, Robin, we have for you is more on a personal level. You know, you're making a change in your life. You're coming from one place to another. What do you personally want to accomplish in 2015?
Personally, I'd like to accomplish actually spending more time with my kids and having less agitation in my life. Not sure that could happen until Obama and his buddies are out of office, because it seems like we get agitated all the time. And in dealing with that, though, it's like, take the information that we're given and double check what we're being told, because there's always one hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing, and there's always a distraction. So I think it's really important that in my life personally, not to get too over the edge about the latest fomenting of a war or another gun rights violations and these, you know, false flags and such. I think really pay attention to what's really important in life and don't let them jerk us around so much.
Yeah, well, unless you plan on chewing a lot of bubble gum and sticking it in your ears and wearing a blindfold, great chance that that's going to happen with you, you know. You're going to be walking by a TV, you're going to see the little crawler, Obama this, you're going to go, what the hell? And your kids are going to go, mama, 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 mama. But look, you're cursed, like all of us are. When when the veil has been ripped away and you see what's going on, you see the truth. It's tough not to get aggravated, but you got to kick back every once in a while. So, like Claire Lopez said, maybe Robin, you should take a vacation. Go on a nice vacation with your family. How about that?
That's right. That's right.
Anything else for Robin before we let her go?
I think I am pretty much tapped out from the last 2 days.
I know. But it's been wonderful. We've had it's
I've
been
heard a lot of great things about you, Rob. I'm glad to put a face to a name and everything, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And you're everything that I thought you would be.
And Robin Nolan at McDavid.
McDavid.
McDavid PR. You got to put the PR in her Twitter account. McDavid PR. Go there, and if somebody wants to like hire you, are you available to do work for people?
Oh, absolutely. I'm taking new clients, and I'm working with a variety of different people. My experience goes way back from having toured the world with a major rock band to, working in international relations. I have a degree in international relations and foreign policy. So I can pretty much cover any subject. What I do works. I get people results. It doesn't really matter what the subject is because I can plug and play and get people on TV, get them on the radio, help them get their content developed for their websites, etc.
Was the rock
Wait
band?
a minute. Yeah,
the rock band?
Everybody woke up in the studio here after 2 long days of taping.
Hold on,
yes, I have a request. I am very, very friendly with a civil rights organization out of Washington, D.C. that has recently been declared a terrorist organization by the United Arab Emirates. Is there anything you could do to help repair my friend's reputation?
Not a thing. I'm sorry.
Take that as a no. But Mark, you had a question.
I want to go back to the rock band thing. What was the rock band you traveled around with?
I had a boyfriend that worked for Keith Richards back in
the Stones.
90s.
The Stones, huh?
Yeah, it's quite an experience. I really wasn't working for them, but I actually ended up doing a lot of media distraction stuff by default.
Media distraction?
Hold on,
stuff.
you got to explain a little bit further.
Yeah.
What is on? Now you're teasing.
Give us one of your short.
No. We were in South America. This is true. We were in Buenos Aires, and the kids were going crazy around the hotel. So we had to get the band out to go see President Menem. It was like 95.
Right.
And I with the head of security, and we actually, when the Brinks truck was leaving the hotel, I called out the media and the helicopters, and what they sent helicopters to say, oh, the band's in the Brinks truck.
Did you know that Tom used to drive a Brinks truck?
Yeah. Wells Fargo, actually. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, here's what we're going to do because we're out of time right now. But we will have Robin Nolan back on and tell us inside Rolling Stone stories. All right? That's going to be
all her drug-induced days.
On the Health and Wealth radio station.
On the Health and Wealth radio station. All right, Robin, thank you very much for being with us. You have a wonderful new year. Give our love to your family, and we look forward to working with you, fighting the bad guys and fighting for the good stuff, fighting the good fight. Take care. Happy New Year.
God bless you. Happy New Year, and thanks for having me.
All right, bye-bye
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Happy New Year, guys.
Whoa, guys, we are down to our final interview over 2 days. Has it been amazing or what?
It has
awesome.
It has been
yeah,
awesome.
we have. We started out with General Tom McInerney, and he gave us some insight into what's going on, some of his personal aspirations, and we had our friends in here, our warrior friends, many in the military, many in private sector. Several women who are housewives doing tremendous work raising their families, who are conservative activists in different parts of the country. And our audience, our viewers and our listeners got a chance to listen to these folks, but also to peek into their lives a little bit. We're down to our final New Year's interview. And I couldn't think of anybody better. Is my nose growing? I couldn't think of anybody better for our final, starting off 2015, than our very dear friend, General Jerry Boykin. Sir, how are you today?
I'm good. Glad to be with you. Happy New Year, by the way.
Good, good. And you've been on the show many times, and we've done quite a bit together. The audience knows you. But our audience is growing every day. We're on WSBR Radio. 7:40 a.m. on the dial from Miami to Palm Beach. We're on internet TV. We're on Breitbart TV, Tea Party Community. So for the folks that may not know General Jerry Boykin, how could people, where do they go, without me going on and on and on about all the stuff you did, if they want to know about you, General Boykin, where can they go to find that out?
Well, they can follow Facebook. That's General Jerry Boykin. On Facebook, or General Boykin at Twitter. And you can also find me on the Kingdom Warriors, one word, kingdomwarriors.net website, which is my ministry.
You have served in the United States Army 35, 36 years. You rose to the rank of Lieutenant General. You've been involved in many of the historic battles in the United States of America. But you made a decision some years back to follow your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You're a Christian. Not only are you a Christian, you're an ordained minister. So you're fighting this battle. You fought the battle with weapons of metal and of steel, and you're fighting the battle with the sword of the Spirit and the various other spiritual weapons. We're looking right now at the beginning of 2015, and you're on the cutting edge. You're working at Family Research Council. You're executive vice president there. We're looking at some of the geopolitical concerns globally and locally. What are some of your concerns, your predictions in 2015 regarding geopolitical scenarios before us?
Well, Tom, with. I have many concerns from a geopolitical perspective. But let me say that I think one of my most serious concerns is that I believe in 2015 that Iran will have a nuclear warhead, a deliverable nuclear warhead. Right now, Iran has enough material to probably build somewhere between 5 and 8 nuclear warheads. What they need is the technology to match those to a delivery system, which I believe in 2015 they'll master that with their new Shahab missiles and the technology that's emerging there. This is a very dangerous situation. And by the way, our government is doing absolutely nothing to stop Iran, in spite of the rhetoric that said that we would not allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. So from a geopolitical perspective, this is a game changer. It's a game changer not only in the Middle East and the Persian Gulf, but it's a global game changer if Iran becomes nuclear armed.
Yeah, General, I just got back from Israel a couple of weeks ago and had an opportunity to sit down with several retired generals and discuss this issue of the Iranian nuclear capability. And they laid it out very, very clearly. They said exactly what you said. I mean, this is a game changer in the Middle East. There's going to be a domino effect of Arab countries needing to be in the nuclear club, all of that. But I asked them, I said, what about Israel's capabilities in terms of destabilizing, attacking, destabilizing some of the 10, 11, 12 facilities that Iran now has? And they said very honestly, they said, look, yeah, we could set Israel back for months. We can do Israel. We can set Iran back for Israel can set Iran back for a period of months, maybe a year, because they don't have the capability to hit all of the facilities sufficiently to set them back for a long distance. But all of the experts I spoke to said the United States, on the other hand, the United States can really set Iran back for years. What are your thoughts on the disparity between Israel's capability and the United States?
Well, I think they gave you a very accurate assessment. Listen, this is a very difficult target for Israel. It's a long ways. It requires a lot of airplanes and a lot of support, to include tankers. And then their intelligence has to be 100%, because the facilities in Iran that they would have to take out in an airstrike or a missile strike, for example, they're deep underground. They're spread out over a lot of different places. They cover a lot of terrain, so it's very difficult. Now, what could America do? Because we have more airplanes, more capabilities, more ships with guided missile capabilities that could be brought to bear, we could take more targets. We have the munitions to go deep underground and have a more devastating impact. But I'm not even sure that America's intelligence is good enough to completely eliminate the Iranian nuclear program. You see, they've got a dual track program. They have not only enriched uranium, but they are also pursuing a plutonium track for the development of a warhead. So, yes, I think America could have a significantly greater impact on Iran, but our intel would have to be very, very precise, very sophisticated for us to know exactly what the key nodes were to take out.
All right, now as we start 2015 on this very happy note, it's a sober note. It's critically important because, and we need to tell our viewers and our listeners the domino effect. You know, people say, well, you know what, let Iran get the bomb and we'll contain them with the MAD, mutually assured destruction, the MAD doctrine, and you know, we'll do what we did. It's okay. There's a few Arab countries out there that have the bomb. There isn't a Persian bomb yet. General, lay out some of the domino effects. If Iran, boom, they test, we find out, and we go, oh no, they're in the nuclear club. What then will happen in the Middle East? How does it become destabilized?
First thing, nuclear. The Saudis will undoubtedly have a nuclear weapon within probably 72 hours. And they'll get that by going back to the Pakistanis and saying, we paid for your nuclear program. Now we need some warheads and some launchers. So the Saudis will be the first, followed obviously by the other Gulf countries. And then what you will see is you will probably see some uprisings there among the Shia minorities, or in a place like Bahrain, it's a majority, because what they will see is that this is their opportunity now to take over from a minority group, which would be the Sunnis, that would be in control of some of these Gulf countries. They would probably see an uprising like we saw in the Arab Spring, where they would be trying to overthrow these minority governments or Sunni governments. And then, quite frankly, I don't think that most people understand the theology of the mullahs in Iran. I don't think they understand that the Supreme Council there are 12ers. They believe that the only way their Messiah will return is when the world is thrust into bloodshed and chaos. That makes Israel a target of the very first nuclear weapon that is designed by the Iranians, which means Israel is left with two choices. Either pray that they don't use that on you, or preempt to the best of your ability. And when that happens, when Israel strikes Iran, Iran will close down the Persian Gulf. When Iran closes down the Persian Gulf, the price of oil globally will skyrocket, which will cripple economies, to include the U.S. economy. That's all the more reason to drill now and drill here. So I think there's a chain reaction of all kinds of different things that can happen, none of which have a good outcome.
Hey, this is a Happy New Year. You're like Scrooge.
Happy New Year, guys.
Oh, my
Is there a
word.
bridge around?
Yeah. But look, this is sober information we have to deal with. We're going to pursue this because in a couple of weeks we have, I believe his name is Mark Kronig. He wrote a book, A Time to Attack. And he's a center-left guy that worked in the Obama administration, but he's a nuclear expert. And he's saying that it's time for the United States to attack. And he says, that's going to be bad. If the United States attacks Iran, it's going to be very bad around the world and the oil and all of that. But if the United States doesn't attack, it's going to be even worse. But We'll be back to you on some of these very important national security issues, General Boykin. Right now, though, I got another question for you. What is one of your personal resolutions? What do you personally, Jerry Boykin, what do you want to accomplish in 2015?
Well, first of all, that I don't make resolutions. That said, let me tell you what I'm.
Say that again. We missed you. It got cut out a little bit. Say that over, please.
Yeah. Well, Tom, you know me well enough to know that I don't make resolutions. You know, these New Year's resolutions, I think, are a waste of time and a farce. But listen, I'll tell you what I'm determined to do in 2015. I'm determined to do all I can to preserve my grandchildren's future. I'll tell you, I am determined, and I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and watch what's happening in this country or around the world without making every effort that I can to make a difference, to change the direction of our country, to do all I can to ensure that my grandchildren have the same freedoms that I've had. And if you look at what's happening in America today, the assault on religious liberty, the assault on Christians in particular, is at an unprecedented all-time high, and I intend to fight that as much as anything else that's going on. I'm going to fight the First Amendment freedoms, fight for the First Amendment freedoms, with a view towards making sure my grandchildren have those rights preserved for them.
Well, for a non-resolution, that's a pretty damn good resolution right there. And we will stand with you in that. But we were kind of looking more at, the personal stuff, learning to cook exotic food or losing a few pounds, that kind of thing.
You called me a fat boy one more time.
I didn't say anything,
But I don't know what I have in this vest.
But just as a point of fact on the show, I've lost significant weight by working out and eating better lately, and I'm just sharing that with my friends. No big deal.
Now he's Mr. Guilt Tom. Yeah.
No big deal. We have to be healthy to fight these bad guys. So
is there any rumors true that you're going to storm Cheyenne Mountain and turn into a Christian ministry for the next year?
I hadn't thought about it, but
that's not a bad idea. Damon, you had a question for the general?
Well, it was more back to when we were talking about the domino effects of Iran going nuclear, and he was mentioning some of the Shia uprisings in the Gulf, and I was going to say it's going on in Yemen right now. We're watching, essentially, I mean, Yemen would be gone in a day, I would think.
It's unimaginable, this stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, remember that what's happening in Yemen, as I think you're indicating, is being funded by Iran predominantly, and they're funding the Shia minorities there.
Hey, look, you're going to sign off our series here, our 2-day
New Year's extravaganza.
Pretty cool extravaganza. I mean, we've gone through 10 or 15 people here who are on the cutting edge of fighting the battles, men and women, wonderful men and women. So why don't you take 30 seconds, a minute, and say goodbye to our audience and indeed launch us into 2015.
Yeah, let me put it this way. You and that crew that you have with you, you guys, I really have a great respect and admiration for you because you operate basically with nothing except a prayer and a hope and an expectation that God's going to meet your needs. And I just want to thank you for what you do. I want to thank you for standing in the gap, for being as bold as you are, and for telling the truth, because there are so few places today that Americans can find truth. So thank you, and God bless you as we go into 2015. I'll be by your side, and I know you'll be by mine. God bless you.
Well, it's only from people like you that inspire us to do what we do,
General.
General.
We're doing. All right, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful 2-day series. We want everyone to have a very safe, very productive 2015 with your families and friends. But as you heard the General and others over the past 2 days, we have a lot of work to do. Together, we can get it done by the grace of God. You take care. We'll see you all soon. Hey, much thanks to General Jerry Boykin for closing our show out like that.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year back to all of you.
Bye, guys.
Shalom.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Okay, Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you very much for having me, and Happy New Year to all.
Mo, Larry, Curly. Good night, everybody. We'll see you. Bye.